Jamie Good tasting wine on camera. And I've got another interesting wine to share with you. And this is the UBE MIraflores from Bodega, Cota 45. And so MIraflores is a pago in San Luca, near San Luca. And this is a blend of different parcels from Miraflores Alta, Miraflores Baja, and it's 10.5% alcohol. So look, this is kind of one of the new wave of sherries, but they're not sherries technically, legally, although the rules may have changed fairly recently. So this is an unfortified Manzanilla, basically, and it's made by Ramiro Ibanez, and he's like a really cool guy. Super cool. He's one of the kind of the visionaries in the region, and you'll notice that this is bringing back the place to sherry as well as the old tradition of not fortifying the phenos. You know, so this universal fortification of phenos and manzanillas is a fairly modern development that kind of harks back to the big expansion of the region in the 70s when it took a wrong turn and big sherry took over. Because the thing is with those phenos, you know, in the old days, they'd harvest them and they'd use a process called asoleo. So they'd lay out the harvested grapes maybe for a day, and it would just bump up the alcoholic potential of the grapes to the point that when they made the biologically aged sherries, the phenos and manzanillas, they didn't need fortification. And so a lot of people are kind of, a whole group of people, including Ramiro, are looking at this, well, let's go back to how things were before, the ways that have been forgotten. And one of the things being forgotten is the sense of place as well, because this is Miraflores, but also the soils. You know, Albariza is not just one soil type. This has got 3 different sorts of Albariza, and they're on the label. So it's Lentejuelas, Los and Tosca Cerrada. So 3 different types of the Albarizo here, and they, you know, there's a classification of Albarizo. I think there's 6 different types in the classification. This has all been forgotten and ignored as sherry became something that was removed from the vineyard and the place. A new clone of Palomino, the Palomino California, kind of came in, massively bigger yields, and so suddenly the dilution of place, and it turned all the attention to the wineries in Jerez, and so everything became much bigger, and the connection with the pagos, the vineyards, was lost. So it's good to see this sort of wine. So this is basically Palomino from this vineyard, that's then made into a white wine in the traditional botta, the barrels, and a space is left at the top, a floor forms, and so this has got a floor influence, but it's not fortified. Really delicate, but it's a light wine, 10.5% alcohol, but it's got real presence in the mouth. It's got a saline, tangy character from the floor, but the floor, interestingly, is not dominant. The floor is taking a slight backseat role, which is adding complexity without overwhelming the character of the wine. And there's this lovely tang to this wine. It's got a complex salty tang, it's got some spicy notes, and it's got this latent sort of richness right at the back where on the finish there's a warm, expanding, spicy finish. It's a really complex wine. This cost me 20 quid. I bought it from a good wine shop in Richmond, and look, it's not cheap, but it's like for 20 quid you're getting a really serious wine here, with masses of complexity. It's thought-provoking. You drink this and you think about wine and life, and it's just a beautiful extra dimension to this wine that comes from the place, the grape variety, and the method of vinification. So my verdict: this is just a fantastic wine. I really, really love it. All his stuff is good. Anything you see from him, you've got to buy it, because it's and it's made naturally as well. It's like this isn't dicked around with. There's no stuff added to it. Really impressive wine. Thanks for watching.